Sunday Night Football featured the Buffalo Bills storming back to beat the Miami Dolphins and to win the AFC East. We don't have a Steve Kornacki. Is it Kornacki? Kornacki graphic here to show us what the percentages were for my Buffalo Bills winning the division, but I think they were down to like 4%. Dolphins cratered. Harry is very emo tonight. And I understandably emo. Like, I mean, that's Dolphins were like 90+% to win the division. Wilson, what did you think of this outcome from a Steelers fan perspective, knowing that you now go to Buffalo instead of heading to Miami?
I'll just think of it as just a general person watching the game perspective first, because we got time to talk about the playoff implications down the road.
You seem like you're in a really happy mood tonight.
But I'll start with this. Josh Allen is a concern, and he had the 2 red zone turnovers. One where Christian Wilkins made a fantastic play. Another YOLO ball in the end zone, had a YOLO 4th down arm punt in the end zone, and he was bailed out. Breach, it felt like, by special teamer Deontay Hasty with the 95-yard punt return that sort of got things jump started. He can run the ball. I mean, he does that really well down the stretch. He made some tough runs. I give him credit for that. The other thing is this. I don't know if this Dolphins offense works against good teams, because we have yet to see it work against good teams. Now, look, everyone and their brother that ever played edge rush for the Dolphins was injured tonight, are coming into this game. Chubb's out. Jalen Phillips is out. They lost Van Ginkel. Cameron Good got injured on the punt return by Hasty that I just talked about. So they have a lot of things to fix very quickly, and they're going to Kansas City where it's going to be 11 degrees. In terms of the Steelers implications, it didn't matter. I mean, this is house money. You're talking about the Mason Rudolph-led Steelers team that's going to play some Jameis Winston YOLO ball when they get to Buffalo, and just hopefully let George Pickens take over. Hopefully Josh Allen has 3 first-half turnovers, and hopefully Chris Boswell can kick a game winner 55-yard field goal as time expires, because that's the only chance with no TJ Watt. Breach.
Yeah, and you just mentioned how much they struggle against good teams. Harry's got the graphic up that I'm sure is painting him up there to put it up there. And that's that, look, they've faced 6 teams that finished above 500. They went 1-5 in those games. The one win was against the Cowboys by 2 points. 3 of the 5 losses were by 2 touchdowns or more. So yeah, they do struggle against good teams. And yeah, it did take a punt return touchdown for that kind of sparks the Bills, because at that point, I'm not sure. I felt like the Dolphins were going to win it until that punt return happened. But even with that, the Dolphins struggled in the second half. I think they only had 67 total yards. You can't put up 67 yards in a half and think you're going to win a game. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't come up with any big plays in the second half. And that's an issue. And it's not just the defensive injuries. I mean, Raheem Mostert wasn't out there. Jalen Waddle wasn't out there. So this team is absolutely banged up. And you have Tua, starting the game with an interception, ending the game with an interception, making a few uncharacteristic mistakes. So you're playing a team with a winning record next week. You mentioned the temperature. I think they're 0-10 in games under 40 degrees, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the playoffs. But yeah, this is not good for the Dolphins. It's not easy to blow a 3-game lead when there's 5 games that are left in the season. It's only happened 4 times in NFL history. And for the Bills, look, if Josh Allen, you just talked about how badly he played, and they still won. He turned the ball over 3 times and they still won. If he doesn't turn the ball over 3 times, who knows what happens? Maybe they win by 2 touchdowns. So I think that's the conversation you have with Josh Allen this week. Look, man, look at our whole season. When you don't turn the ball over, we dominate people. When you do turn the ball over, we lose, or it's a tight game. So don't turn the ball over. So I think it's really that simple with Josh Allen. You don't have to be, you don't have to hit home run every play. We can take the singles. We can take the bunts. Just get us down the field, score touchdowns, and we'll win.
The first interception felt like it was a cover 0 blitz. They brought the house. The Dolphins did. Allen threw it, and it looked like his initial reaction was that he sort of blamed Gabe Davis. I don't know if, we'll have to hear about, he's not going to throw him under the bus. Gabe Davis got hurt in that game as well. But the second one was a pure T, fadeaway jumper from like 40 yards away. And then he almost hit another one for a touchdown. Like, I think the problem is I think what's so interesting about Josh Allen is that he's sort of what we thought Patrick Mahomes might be without good coaching. Like this athletic freak who like just cannot stop, like cannot prevent it. Or Josh Allen trying to like not turn the ball over is like me trying to do dry January. Like, I'm like, yeah, this sounds great. I'm definitely doing this. And then like snap the ball, like, nah, I'm good. I think I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight.
5 days in, you're on a 4-night bender.
Right, exactly. It's like, well, I mean, we can always start January 14th or something. But it is concerning because the Dolphins got after him. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be your 3-point favorite, but you're on the road. It just feels like if this is I always harken back to Wilson's reaction to what was it, like a Rosencopter style Josh Allen moment again? Remember against the Texans in the playoff, that wild card game? It's like Josh Allen can win you any game at any given moment, and he can lose you any game at any given moment too. And I sort of think I don't think the Bills should have lost. Like it's better for them. You get the Steelers. It feels like a sort of a bye week. You're going to likely advance to the next round. You're 10-point favorites at home. Obviously Pittsburgh could pull off the upset, but it almost feels like the Bills were better off in this underdog mentality. And once they got to the spot where like the Jaguars lose, they already clinched, they're 3-point favorites. It sort of changed how he played. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he went back to I feel like we went back to pressing YOLO Josh Allen. And if he does that in the playoffs, I don't see how they end up making it to the Super Bowl. If he goes back to, taking what defense is given, then the ceiling for this Bills team is as high as anybody in the NFL.
Yeah, but he can't not be YOLO Josh Allen. He goes, like, to your point,
Cheers,
he'll be on the wagon for a game and a half. And I think a perfect microcosm of Josh Allen is not even the turnovers breach. It's the way the first half ended when he threw the ball short and he knew he could not throw the ball short. And the way that Sean McDermott had the halftime conversation where you knew Sean McDermott went into the locker room and had to sit in his office with the lights off for 10 minutes and meditate so he wouldn't strangle Josh Allen. Those are the type of things that Josh Allen does that makes you want to pull your hair out if you had it as Sean McDermott or as me.
Yeah, and the one thing about that, Sean McDermott had no problem throwing Josh Allen under the bus, which tells you how dumb of a play it was, where sometimes the coach will take the responsibility, but when it's such a dumb play that you have to, and I don't think Josh Allen would care. If he heard that interview, he'd be like, yeah, that was a dumb play. And when you win, you forget about it or put it in the back of your mind and say, I won't do that again. I lucked out because we won this game. But in the playoffs, you can't make dumb mistakes like that. You have to get the 3 points at the end of the half and try and get the score at the end of the half and the score at the start of the half because they were getting possession first in the third quarter. And so you can't, and it's a microcosm of what Josh Allen does. He thought he could get a touchdown there. He thinks, hey, I'm going to sneak it in. My guy's going to turn around, jump in the end zone. We're going to get the touchdown. Everybody's going to celebrate. And the opposite of that happens. Although, there was a helmet to helmet there that probably should have been called.
Yeah, that's definitely should have been an untimed
down.
But
even then, you get an untimed down and you probably kick the field goal because there's 0 seconds left. You just get one free play and you probably take the points, but who knows? So yeah, this was the ultimate Josh Allen. We got the whole Josh Allen roller coaster. The Bills are lucky they won with as badly as he played for a good chunk of the game. But in the second half, he looked like the Josh Allen who could take this team to the Super Bowl. So I just thought it was crazy that we saw the two sides of Josh Allen, the one that could lose them the game in a wild card round or the one that could take them to the Super Bowl.